had a funny thing happen, which leads us into our next episode. So yesterday I was having our driveway replaced. So company came and I got on a phone call. And my office actually looks out at the driveway, but I was on the phone call and I'm talking, blah, 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 blah. And like 20 minutes later, I turn around and the driveway's gone and the company's gone.
Like they dug it up and...
gone.
Gone.
And I was like, in the time of a phone call. So I took a picture of it and I posted it on my Facebook page and I said...
As one would.
Because it was funny, right? And I posted on my Facebook page and I said... I turned my back for 20 minutes and somebody stole my driveway. And then I actually said, we were having it replaced. But how I wrote it, people thought my driveway was stolen. Which leads me down to real estate scams to be aware of.
What a fun topic.
Right? People have actually had their driveways stolen. That is actually a thing. So today's episode, as you know, anybody who goes on Facebook, Nextdoor, or Reddit, or wherever, you see it almost daily, right? People falling for victim to scammers, people renting property from fake listings. They're wiring, you see it in the news, they're wiring funds to settlement, like $200,000 worth of money to settlement that's going to an offshore company that's a fraud. And all these other predatory activities. So we wanted to take some time to talk about that. So in this week's reality check, we are going to talk about those common real estate related fraud, scams, and things that you need to do and how to protect yourself from them.
Yes.
So interesting. What kind of any weird fraud things you've run across?
Yeah. So I have run across an experience with some wire fraud, unfortunately.
Ooh.
It wasn't
That's a biggie.
A situation that I was directly involved in, thankfully. That would be a very stressful situation. But unfortunately, there was some hacking that happened. And after being hacked, basically the incorrect wiring information was provided. And ultimately, $300 and some odd thousand went to the wrong place.
Did they get the FBI involved?
Instantly. I heard within an hour they were there looking into the situation. But last I had heard, there was not a positive resolution on the horizon.
Yeah, and the problem with wiring, the good thing about wiring is the reason why we use wires is because it's instantaneous transfer. And you can't pull it back.
You can't stop it, yeah.
You can't stop it. So when these companies, and a lot of times when they're intercepted, they're going to, and they're leaving the country. So that makes it even more difficult for the FBI to investigate. Sometimes, depending where it is in the wire process, it can get pulled back because I say it's instantaneous, but sometimes whatever the bank is on their end, they're still doing something, and sometimes it can get stopped. But that is not the reality. No. So wire fraud is horrible, horrible.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking.
You can Google and find lots of stories about these. And what's interesting about all the things we're going to talk about today is that this is not something that happens over there or to those people or to people who are dumb it literally happens everywhere in our area, in your area, to smart people, to not smart people, to...
Everyone's smart, of course.
But
all walks. No, really. I read an article about a CEO over in Europe who wired $250,000 in a scam. So it can happen to anybody. You just cannot be careful enough.
Yeah, and which actually brings me to a tiny little thing. Sometimes when we're working with clients who are wiring funds to go to settlement, they go into their banks to set it up, and the bank asks them for a copy of their closing disclosure, lots of ID, and sometimes I've had clients tell me that they're like, well, what do you need the money for? Why are you sending it to them? Do you know who those people are? You know what? That's all to protect you. It's annoying.
Ask the questions. Yeah.
I know it's annoying, but they're just trying to protect you. They're really looking out for your best interest.
Yes.
One of the other things I've seen is fake rental listings. Have you run into those?
Especially on like Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Craigslist, things like that.
And what's a fake market listing? Or a fake rental listing?
Well, it is a fake market listing.
It is a fake
in a way.
Yeah.
So what you'll see is a property that is for rent that'll be posted online. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, something like that.
And you'll see them sometimes on Zillow. They'll make their way through the portals. So just know
it will disseminate. It could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere.
Anywhere. And it'll have pictures, descriptions of the property. On the surface, it's going to look pretty legit.
There is one little thing that I notice sometimes. The price tends to be a little too good to be true.
Well, they do say it's too good to be true. There's a reason.
Yes. So, this is it's sad, funny. But I've had rental tenants reach out to me about particular properties, and when I've done a deep dive on them, the person answering the phone on the other end or who responds to your inquiry will be like, well, I'm not in the country right now. They're usually doing something very philanthropic. They're serving some third world country
Peace Corps or something.
Peace Corps something, or
doing good.
Putting good out into the world. But they're elsewhere. And you're just instructed to go and drive by and look through the windows at the property.
That should be your first red flag.
Yes. Or I actually read a story one time where somebody was instructed to go in through the back door, which had a broken window that you could reach through and unlock the door.
A little B&E before you.
Really? So that sounds obvious, but some of them aren't very obvious. So they come at you and even if you can get in somehow. So there have been times where they've been able to get the combo. They've put a lockbox on it. They've figured out a way to get a key. And it's a vacant home. And you go and you look at it. They give you go in. And then they're like, okay, well, just wire us the money and we'll send you a lease. And we'll send you the keys. And lo and behold, they don't own the property.
You wire the money.
And it's gone.
And there's no keys.
So, and that tends to happen for, I see a lot of people that really get taken advantage of that, who are definitely looking for better deals in the marketplace anyway. So not only did they not find a better deal, but they lost all that money. And that's really a shame. So if it sounds too good to be true,
it probably is.
Yeah. Don't
do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence, please. Okay. One of the other things I've seen is land sale scams. That's very popular these days.
Tell me about that.
So I get a call. I'm an agent, right? And I get a call, and it's Joe Schmo who wants to sell a piece of land in wherever. Okay. And they give me all the information. I pull it up, and I'm like, great, this is Joe Schmo. Yep, Joe Schmo's the owner. Good. And then I'm like, well, can I get a copy of your ID? Because I don't know who you are, because they are not local. And it's not unusual for us to sell homes for people who are not local.
Not at all.
I mean, I've often worked with people who don't live locally to sell property. But we do our due diligence to find out that they are who they say they are. So they send us an ID, and it's fake. We don't know this. I'm not an ID expert.
Plus, it's just a copy.
It's not a picture of Mickey Mouse or anything. It's not that obvious. And we put the property on the market. And a lot of times, if it's land, people aren't paying as close attention to land. It's one thing if you have a house that's vacant. Maybe it's a vacation property, so you're in it part-time, those kind of things. It's a little bit easier to find out about those. But a piece of land, you're probably not going to find out about it. So a sign goes up, and, the agent's over here working and find you a buyer. You a buyer. And goes to settlement, and those are often caught at settlement. Thank goodness we have
at settlement.
Yeah, at settlement. Or like right before settlement.
Ouch.
Thank goodness for our awesome title companies.
Seriously.
So those people get caught at our title companies are super responsible, thank goodness, and they're doing a lot more of a deeper dive into verifying who they are. But occasionally, again, Google it, it happens. Homes get sold, and here's the problem. You have a buyer who honestly purchased a property. A deed was transferred to that buyer.
Ouch.
So they're out money.
But that seller didn't actually sign anything.
But the seller didn't sign anything, so it turns into a big litigation issue between those two. Title insurance can step in. These are reasons why you buy title insurance whenever you purchase a property. But there's things that happen, but it doesn't always resolve itself well.
Yeah, no one wants to go through that stress when they're buying a new home.
No, it's horrible.
Awful.
So part of the reason why I bring this one up is because if you have vacant land or if you have vacant properties or properties that you don't visit often, get eyeballs on them. Make sure that nothing shady is going on with them. I know that in Florida, I have a piece of land and I was able to register that with the county. And if anybody pulls a title search on it, I will get a notification.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you live in a county that allows that to happen, it's free. I didn't have to pay for it. I just had to sign up for it. So check into where you have property and put some sort of notification on your account. So if that happens, you get a notification. If you're occupying the property, that's probably not going to happen.
Hopefully we're okay.
So I wouldn't worry about it too much. What's the next thing we've heard of? So
I have seen a little bit lately of some of these, what I would call like seminar and investment type scams.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Actually, I've seen more than a few of these lately,
unfortunately,
in multiple places. So I've seen these, I hate to say Facebook again, but on Facebook Marketplace.
Social media.
Yeah. Meetup, Craigslist, even in emails. I've gotten email invitations before to some of these. And these are usually seminars that are, I think they always seem to be held at a hotel somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, they're legit seminars.
Yeah, that's a legitimate seminar, but
you're going to pay a couple $100 to go.
You're going to pay a little bit of a fee, just a low fee of $2.99 or whatever the case may be. And they're going to teach you how to become a real estate investor. Everything. You're going to walk away and have all the tools to become a millionaire.
And you're going to make all the money tomorrow.
All of it.
But then they call you back afterwards and they're like, well, if you really want to be good at this, you're going to probably have to sign up for this other seminar.
Which costs moolah.
Or sign up to be a part of our network, in which we will send you properties looking for investors. We'll help match those. You're going to sign up for a bunch of things. You're going to sink a bunch of money into stuff. And chances are you're not going to make any money on this.
Yeah, I don't know many folks in the investment world who got their start from one of these seminars. I don't think I know any of them, actually.
There's if that's an avenue you want to pursue, you want to talk to somebody who's a legit, really active investor that you know. And, sometimes we can introduce you to those kind of people.
Yeah,
so, those people are out there and sometimes they'll mentor you, but just know that those get-rich-quick seminars aren't always what they are cracked up to be.
Seems to be a little bit of a theme of if it seems too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So, what else, Jamie? What other scams have you seen?
So this is I consider this a scam.
Okay.
But it's kind of like a semi-legit scam.
But just feels icky?
It feels icky.
Okay.
There's some of those feels icky things. Yeah. So there's been some companies out there now. The state of Virginia just squashed this. I think the law passed where this is not going to be legal anymore.
I hope it did.
But that doesn't mean it's passed. That's happening everywhere. So there's companies out there who will look for people who are having some sort of financial issue with their home. Maybe they're behind on their mortgage, or they're behind on taxes. And they don't offer to bail them out, but they do offer to give you, like, I don't know, a few $1,000s, $5,000, if you sign a 30-year listing agreement with them.
30 years?
Yeah, 30 years. And that listing agreement can predefine all kinds of things, right? It can predefine the price of the house you're going to sell it.
Wow.
It could predefine how much commission you're going to pay. It can predefine all those things, and you've signed it, and you took cash in order to do that. So those have been deemed predatory. Some of the states are dealing with them. Some are not.
That's an awful one, yeah.
And that tends to get, those people tend to prey on older people.
Oh.
So there's a lot of these things that tend to focus on older people.
You gotta protect grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. It kind of sucks out there. What else? What else are you seeing?
I mean, along the same lines of, people who are sometimes going through some financial difficulties, we've seen similar scams where they're targeting people who are in a potential foreclosure situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, where they can offer relief, and we will help you figure out a payment plan and a process forward. You just have to pay us.
We'll take care of it. Yeah, we're going to take care of it. We're going to call your mortgage company. We're going to have it taken care of. You're going to stay in your house. You just got to pay us like $500 or $1,000.
And we'll take care of everything.
We'll take care of everything.
Of course, that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Nothing gets taken care of.
And you can't find them.
And you're definitely out for $500.
And not only that, you haven't gotten any relief in your
relief
foreclosure issue. So
it's awful.
So it is awful. It is awful.
Yeah.
Again, kind of preying on people who may have issues. And this is actually not necessarily an issue. But you may get a call that says that your electric bill is behind or your water. The electric company calls you to say, hey, we're getting ready to cut you off tomorrow because you haven't paid your electric bill in 3 months.
Ouch.
And you owe $500 or however much. And, but, we will not cut off your electric. You can wire us some money through Western Union.
Oh, okay.
If you just wire us the money today.
Just like $100, right? Just like.
Oh, no.
Oh, the full 500?
The full amount that you're behind.
Man, okay.
Then we'll make sure that your power doesn't get cut off.
Okay.
The electric company is not going to ask you to use Western Union. They're not going to ask you for gift cards. They're not going to ask you for Apple Play cards. They're not going to ask.
I doubt that.
They're not going to ask you for Amazon credits. And they're probably, a lot of them don't even call you. You'll get a letter in the mail. I can't speak to every utility out there, but most utilities will send you a letter. You may even get something on your front door if they're getting
brightly colored postcard, perhaps.
Something. Yeah. But they're not going to call you, and they're certainly not going to have somebody willing to take some sort of easy fix for you that involves Western Union or gift cards or anything else like that. Ouch. And that happens. It happens a lot. It's very sad.
Very.
What else are you seeing?
Well, I've seen some moving scams. Have you heard about those?
Oh my God, yeah, those are horrible.
Well, it's a scam. It's definitely an icky one. But
it's an icky.
It's a situation where maybe someone is using a budget type mover, or maybe a less known company. Maybe
one that was not referred by your agent.
No, one that was definitely not referred by your agent because they would never ever work like that.
No.
And they say, okay, we're going to move you from A to B. And it's going to be this cost. And then you pay them that cost. And then they get to your destination and say, oh, but wait,
there's more.
Actually, you owe us more money.
If we just get another $1,500, we'll unload the truck.
But if not,
well, the stuff's just going to sit on the truck.
We're not going to move it.
So, yeah,
what are you going to do? You have no choice.
You don't. You are kind of being held hostage.
It's awful.
So it is awful. So, I mean, the best way to avoid that is to really just make sure you talk to your agent and get a reputable mover that they can fully trust. We don't recommend anybody who's going to pull a bait and switch on you with pricing. Like, our movers will jump out a window of a 10th floor building before they go back and try to charge you more money.
These companies that we are recommending to folks are companies that are tried and true. I'm not going to recommend a company that is going to cause a negative experience for anybody in my network because I want them to keep coming back to me.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, please don't fall for any of those bad moving company scams. So we have one of the other things that I've seen is, so let me just back up here. Like, we get a call often, right? We get people who call us out of the blue, buyers or sellers.
All the time, yeah.
All the time. And we ask them some questions.
All the time.
All the time. We're not doing that to be annoying. We're doing that because there's a lot of scams out there that come at us. We have a ridiculous amount of scams that come at us.
Think about the fact that most people in this industry are information, our phone number, email address are literally plastered everywhere.
Right. So it's easy to find us.
Very.
It's easy to pretend you know us. I don't fall for anybody pretending to know me, but what we often get is, Joe referred me to you. We all know a Joe or a John or a Mary or whatever.
Yeah, generic name.
And we're like, okay. And you're like, Joe who? And they're like, I met him at a something. And you're like, okay, not helpful, but okay.
But
great.
Also still excited for the
still
opportunity.
Excited. Yes. Thank you, Joe, whoever you are. So we want to ask you questions. Well, a lot of times we get buyers who want to, what do they call you with? They're like, I like the ones who are like, I get a text message from a secretary who's like, my boss, they give some name, lives out of the country and wants to buy a $10 million home in my city.
Of course.
Of course.
In like 2 weeks or something.
Yes. Yeah, in 2 weeks. Doesn't know me from Adam. And I can assure you that $10 million buyers just don't randomly pick you out of a phone book.
Oh,
usually.
Man. We probably should have included that in the first episode just so everybody knew.
Right. So, yes. Just go to your phone book and call somebody. No, but they call us and they try to get us on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then all kinds of scamming ensues. Sometimes WhatsApp doesn't have the same kind of protections, like it's not as traceable. Mm-hmm. So if any kind of fraud happens, wire fraud wise or anything like that, it's impossible to trace through WhatsApp. But also a lot of them are Bitcoin scams.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just people trying to sell us Bitcoin.
That too. I think the last request I got was an email and someone who had never met me, and I was referred, of course, and I was an highly esteemed,
yes,
realtor in the area.
Well, I do think you are highly esteemed.
Thank you.
Yes.
I really appreciate that, Jamie. I think so too. But had never met me, and that they were ready to sign an agreement and purchase right away. Their budget was only $3 million though.
But $3 million. I don't get out of bed for less than $8.
Oh,
anyway,
fair enough. Send them my way.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a reason that we ask you questions, and again, sometimes if we don't want them to be able to get into our stuff, because then sometimes that gives us access to things that we don't want them to have access to.
Yeah, not at all.
So we are very protective of our information.
Extremely. So the lesson I've learned there is the moment someone wants to go to WhatsApp, a little red flag pops up and I become a little suspicious.
Yes. So if you're trying to get us on WhatsApp and you're legit, then you better really have a good
sorry.
legit reason. So we're very skeptical.
Very skeptical of WhatsApp.
So one of the other things I've seen, this is not really real estate related, but because we like animals, we love animals. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
Yes.
Because we love animals, I wanted to bring up the lost pet scams because I see them all the time. And it's only funny. I have a lot of friends that are like all over the world. And I started noticing that people in different countries would post the same lost pet. And I was like,
wait a minute.
I feel like this pet has gone around.
Traveled quite a bit.
Yes. It's usually a dog, and it's a purebred, and it's very pretty, and it's depressed. It's very depressed. It's very sad.
Sarah McLachlan music like playing in the background.
Sarah McLachlan,
right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And the dog is very depressed, and people are trying to get you to follow a Facebook page. That's not scammy. I mean, there's a lot of scams that can result of that. There's been all sorts of like ransom scams, or people that will be like, I found my dog and my dog needs surgery, and now you're invested in this dog, so you want to send them $25 to help this dog. There's also a thing where they do replacement pages, and they do that. There's companies who will go out. They're not legit companies. They're like scam companies, but they go out and they create a Facebook page with some, love my small child who has some horrible illness. And you go like that page, and then they sell that page to a disreputable company.
Oh, no.
And then the next thing you know, you're
following
either spammed or
some other page that
following something, and it could end up being something horrible that you don't want to be affiliated with.
Yeah.
So don't fall for those lost pet scams, especially if you see purebred dogs that are depressed. That is your key. But also anything that is, whether you see it on Nextdoor or anywhere where people they found a pet and they want you to pay for the pet, or they have a pet to rehome and they want you to pay. Now, rescues will do that. That's fine, but don't trust people. There's also related to that. There's fake breeders on Facebook. Have you
Oh,
ever seen
man.
those?
No.
Oh my God, they're horrible. They have fake breeder pages where people will fall in love with the teacup poodle.
With the little puppy.
Yeah,
and
with the Pomeranian.
They send their deposit.
And they send their deposit, and it's not
And there's
a
no
real,
puppy.
There is no puppy.
Well, that's the saddest thing ever.
It is, I know, right?
We might need to change the topic. I'm
Not
getting
only-
really sad talking about.
Not only
poor
do you
dogs.
lose your money, you get no puppy.
There's no puppy.
There's no
It's
puppy
the
in the end.
worst.
So those are some scams. There's a million scams out there. One of the other things I wanted to bring up, we'll get into kind of like scammy things.
Like the icky things.
The icky things that are real, but they're just things you shouldn't do, and they are related to home buying. But one of the things that has really come out lately, I saw Realtor or NAR sent this out not long ago, where deepfakes are going out, video deepfakes.
Whoa. Is that with like AI?
Yeah, AI deepfakes of me. Like, who would deepfake this? Could AI really?
Never.
Really? No,
Never.
I don't think so.
Could never.
At any rate, but an AI deepfake where they will deepfake me and send you a video that says, "Hey, could you wire your settlement funds to this company? Blah 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 blah," and it looks legit, or some other thing that has to do with money. Where I have seen this is not real estate related, but it is common. Kidnapping deepfakes, where they're using recordings and they call people, especially older people, and it's a grandchild, and they say, "Stacy's grandmom, I have Stacy. I'm holding her for ransom for $5,000.
Here's the wiring info.
Here's the wiring info. Here, do you want to talk to Stacy?" And it is a deep fake of Stacy being like, "Hi, Grandmom, I'm okay. Could you please wire the money so that I can be saved?"
Oh my gosh.
The obvious thing that comes to mind is
Trust no one.
no one.
That's the obvious.
And I know, it's one of those things. You're like, somebody just kidnapped my child or my grandchild, and
Of
you
course.
want to get them back. Like, it's your responsibility and thing as a parent and grandparent to want to do that. But two things kind of pop to mind, and it's hard to separate yourself from this. But the first and foremost is have somebody else in the house call the number of the person that is supposedly being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Chances are they are going to answer the phone from a deep
And then
sleep
you'll
or
know.
whatever, and they're going to be like, "What? I don't know what you're
everything's
talking
fine.
about. I'm fine." Okay, there's that. There's also just, not bad things happen to good people all the time. But I also say there's obvious things. Yeah. Unless you're a Rockefeller or a Hilton or somebody that is known to be wealthy.
You don't think someone's trying to extort me?
I really don't. I don't think someone's coming after my grandson and being like, "Hey, give us money," because they're gonna be sad.
You're not gonna get very far.
I could be like, "Love you, grandchild, but
Godspeed.
I hope they don't do anything other than make you clean floors." No,
Oh.
no, that's horrible. But I'm being honest. That, like, they're really, it's not a common thing that they're going after the everyday person trying to look for a lot of money. Yeah. But just do things. Don't go randomly sending money to people. Don't go wiring money to people. Don't send gift cards to people. Don't drop everything. And nobody's calling you for your Social Security number.
No.
The Social Security Administration cannot freeze your account. They cannot. There's nothing like that. And please just protect yourselves. But so those are the bad scams. So let's talk about some scammy light.
Like
Scammy light.
Otherwise.
We'll call it. Otherwise, ick.
Things. Yeah. Well, there's one that like really icks me as being in the industry. So do you ever get these phone calls from these companies?
Oh my God.
Sometimes, it tends to
You just had a settlement.
Yeah, it tends to be, home security companies very often. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Who they are like, "Congratulations on your recent settlement," and you're excited.
And literally, the settlement happened 12 minutes ago.
Once literally walking in my car out of a settlement office.
Mm-hmm.
The speed at which they work is quite impressive, actually. And they are letting me know that they're able to offer me personally, as the agent, a credit.
Nope. Or money.
Well,
they're
money.
Offering,
they're offering me.
Or a gift card.
They're offering me money.
Like a $200 gift card,
Yeah.
or a $200 check, or
They're
some
offering
money.
me money.
And that's a no-no. No,
And
no,
they
no,
want
no,
to
no, no.
refer
No.
my buyers.
Let's be very clear. What can't we do?
I don't even want to say the word.
We're not allowed to take money for referrals.
Yeah, no.
That's a RESPA violation. We can lose our licenses. And not only that, no.
It's ick.
I will never take payment to refer anybody to you. If I'm going to refer somebody to you, it's somebody that I know, love, and trust. And the reason I'm referring them to you is because I know them, love them, and trust them to do a good job for you.
Exactly.
I don't, no. So don't. So if you do, but some people are interested in security services, right? I mean, some people want that.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
So if your agent calls you and says, hey, ADT is going to call you, give them my name and tell them that I sent you, or call this number, chances are, and they didn't tell you that you're getting a discount, because they will give you that $200. So just make sure that if it's one of those companies, if it's just one of those security companies, not everybody else, but just those.
Yeah. But speaking of scams like with new buyers, there's another one that happens a lot, actually. So, and
all the time.
Yeah, we talk about it at the closing table. It happens.
We do.
Like every single settlement, it happens so frequently where your buyers are super excited and they are moving into their new house. And of course, they get a lot of mail when they first move.
Tons of mail.
Like a ton of mail. But unfortunately, in the mail, what part of those tons of mail pieces will be are what looks like a welcome letter from numerous different mortgage servicing companies. And it can seem really confusing. And they're welcoming you to their company and congratulating you on your home purchase.
And here's where you make your payment.
Yeah. Sometimes I've even seen one where they include like a payment booklet.
A coupon.
Yeah, this is where you send your payment. But here's the deal.
They're not your mortgage company.
They are not your mortgage company.
No. I'm sorry, I gave away that punchline.
You did. You gave it away earlier, but it's okay. They're not your mortgage company, and it happens so much that we talk about it at every single settlement.
Oh my God, yeah. So here's what you do, right? If you buy a home, your mortgage will transfer. 99% of the time, whoever did your mortgage origination is going to package that up and sell it to now a processor.
Yeah.
That's normal. They will give you notifications. So if your lender was ABC Mortgage is going to send you a letter saying, okay, we loved helping you with your loan.
But here's your new company.
But your new company is now XYZ Mortgage. Yep. And then XYZ Mortgage is going to send you a letter and says, hey, ABC Mortgage says we're your new company.
Welcome.
And it's kind of all going to happen at the same time.
Yep.
And you can always call your lender to verify.
Yes.
So this is why we like when you use our lenders, because they answer their phones and they will follow up on that stuff. I actually have had lenders that are proactive about it. They'll reach out to people and say,
fantastic.
Yeah. Just so you know, your mortgage is being transferred and this is going to be your new servicing company.
Yeah, it's an awful one. It's so easy to fall.
It is. And then some of them I've even heard where they take it a step further and they'll offer to refi. Like they'll do a refi.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
And then it is a legit mortgage company that's refinancing your mortgage, but now you're not getting your repay. It's weird. Yeah. Don't always. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm not saying that we know everything, because we don't. We don't. I'm the first person to say we don't know everything. But if you just ask us, talk to your lender. If it's anything related to your home, anything that smacks of real estate.
Even if we don't know the answer, we know the best resource to find you the answer.
We will. So what's the other thing that I always tell people at settlement is the letter that you get afterwards.
Yes.
About the certified copy.
Buying a copy of your certified deed.
Yeah. Because you just bought a house and you want the deed.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's just $8 or $12. It's usually some small amount.
Yeah. Well, no. The one they want to send you is like $100.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
To buy the real one.
To buy a real certified copy of your deed. Yeah. Now, to be clear, they are sending you a certified copy of your deed. So that's
real.
They're not lying.
Just costing a
just
whole
costing
lot more.
100% more, or 10,000% more than what it would cost. And by the way, your title company is going to send that to you. So that usually happens a few months after, or up to like a month to 2 months. You'll get,
depending on how fast things move. Yeah. But we talk about this a lot of times at the closing table too. It happens that much.
Yeah, you will get that. Like it will come to you. You don't need to get a certified copy for $100. So don't fall for that. I tell people, now that kind of stuff, because it's legit, we call it scam light. And sometimes if you look at the very bottom, somewhere on the letter, on the front or back, it alludes to it marketing or that you don't need this or something like that.
That's their "don't sue us" little language somewhere.
Yeah. But as we always say, please come to us if you have any questions about that. Just come to us and ask. We want to protect you. So how do we protect ourselves against fraud?
Yeah, now that we've scared the bejesus
Now that we've scared you, now you're
and even myself a little bit. Now I'm a little
You're never going to
paranoid.
answer your phone. You're never going to answer your front door. You're not going to go onto Facebook.
And heaven forbid if
or
anyone
next
sends
door.
me a WhatsApp
Yeah,
message,
oh my
like
God,
it's
no
all
WhatsApp.
over.
Yeah, but and no kidnapping messages late at night.
None at all. But I mean, there are some ways to protect yourself. So the first would be your suggestion in the beginning about registering your vacant land with the county.
Yes. You
Definitely.
know what? We forgot to talk about.
Oh, what did we forget?
We forgot one more. I'm
Oh, no.
sorry.
Oh,
we
there's
gotta go
more
back.
ick? Okay.
There's one more thing that we didn't talk about. You know, I brought up at the beginning about my driveway. The reason I started this. We didn't talk about contractor scams.
Oh.
So there's a scam out there. Again, Google it. In some cases, I'm not sure what the end result is, and in some cases, I know what the end result is. There are unscrupulous contractors who will go out and do work to a vacant property and then send you a bill. And like you'll be like, but I didn't ask for my driveway to be replaced, and you got a bill for a new driveway, and there is indeed a new driveway there. And they put a lien on your house because there's a new driveway there, and they forge stuff that says that you asked them to put in a new driveway. So that is a scam. I've also seen it happen where people, and I'm not sure what the end game is to this, where people have had like trees cut down or things like that on vacant properties, and nobody's got money for anything, but it kind of screws the contractor, but then the contractor gets mad and comes after you because they think something happened.
Wow.
I actually had an HVAC contractor call me once. I had a vacant listing.
Okay.
And he called me. He said, hey, I got a call to go in and check the HVAC at this property.
Okay.
And I'm pretty on top of my properties.
Thinking
and
I would have known about that.
I would know about this.
Probably would have been the one making the call.
Exactly. And I was like, no. He's like, I went and I saw your for sale sign in the front yard, and I figured I would call you before I went in.
What a smart guy.
And they got, now I don't know how they would have got in because
Yeah.
it wasn't a lockbox, and I don't think they had a way to get in with a lockbox. But still, he was like, he's like, it seemed sketchy to me. But he got all the way to the house before he saw my name and called me. So there's scams like that can happen. So sorry. Now, how do we protect you against all this, right? Yeah. So we
Hide in your house and never answer
hide
the
in
phone.
your
No,
house
I'm
and never
joking.
come out. Just put your spider
And if you need a
senses.
bigger house to hide in, just give us a call.
Spider senses, though. I mean, if anything sounds too good to be true,
It probably is.
it is most definitely too good to be true. Yeah. If you are going away on vacation,
Yeah, tell people.
tell your
Your neighbors.
You know, it's when John and I moved into our neighborhood 12 years ago, I think. No, 14 years ago. We moved into our house. We loved our neighborhood. We got to know our neighbors, and every time we went anywhere, we told our neighbors. And it's funny because I have certain family members who shall remain unnamed, but that are like, I don't want the neighbors knowing anything I'm doing. I don't want them paying attention to me. You know, I don't want any Mrs. Kravitz.
I love my neighbors.
For those of you who don't know who Mrs. Kravitz is, go watch Bewitched. I don't want no Mrs. Kravitz staring out the window, paying attention to what I'm doing. Well, you know what? Those are the kind of people that stop fake companies from movers coming in. Have you heard of movers coming in and clearing out a house because somebody's on vacation? And it's really just people stealing everything in the house?
I mean, or they'll steal your driveway, apparently. So
Yeah, steal your driveway. Tell your neighbors what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to talk to people. Nobody wants to know your business. They just, if you're not in town and they see weird things happening at your house, they'll let you know.
Yeah, and odds are your neighbors are looking anyway, so you might as well give them a heads up.
Exactly.
So another thing you probably shouldn't do is sending money to people that you don't know, and
Don't
sending gift cards.
Don't send money
electronically.
or gift cards or anything to anybody that doesn't know stuff. I mean, just don't do it. Also, again, with the whole going to your agent for a reputable title company, The title companies we use something called Qualia. I'm sure there's other systems out there.
Sure.
I think that's just kind of like popular in this area.
Definitely way more secure, and it's encrypted just to protect it. A couple extra steps to get logged in, but everything in that system is secure, and we can rest easy that nobody's email's getting hacked, and we don't have to, worry about any fraud issues there.
And we're sending you documents via like .loop or DocuSign or some other things, and those are also secure repositories for information. So we're trying very hard to protect your information and stuff. And unfortunately, it means another step because you have to create logins for these things and all that. But it's really important. It's worth it. We want to protect you. Register your vacant land.
Yes.
I don't know.
And again, if it seems too good to be true,
don't fall for it.
It probably is.
Yeah. So anyhow, thank you for joining us on this episode of Reality Check.
Hope we didn't scare you too much.
No, hope we didn't scare you. We hope to see you on our next episode. And don't forget
to
spay and neuter your pets. Thank you.